If you're a recruiter who would love to know how to build a personal brand on LinkedIn in order to automate their time and generate more revenue, then this video is for you. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jessica Kimber and I own a Rec2Rec recruitment agency called RecEx Recruitment, as well as a company called Raire, which offers personal branding services to recruiters to teach them how to build their personal brand on LinkedIn in order to monetize their audience and convert them into clients and candidates. Now, having a personal brand has completely transformed my life and my entire business. The reason behind that is because now I'm able to really accelerate my efforts because I've got so much access and such a strong network of people who trust I'm the best person to solve their problem. I've done all of that in just 15 minutes a day by posting once a day on LinkedIn. So it's really not that difficult when you know how. Now, something important to note is that having a content strategy is just one part of the puzzle. Now, being able to post 3 to 5 times a week is important, but it's not the only thing that's going to get your profile noticed. You also need 2 other things, and that's a communication strategy as well as an optimized profile. Without these 2, your content simply won't be seen by the right people, and it's leaving it totally down to chance. So let me tell you in this video the 6 steps you need to follow in order to build a personal brand on LinkedIn from scratch. Now, the very first thing you need to do is build a foundation. Now, if you're just posting random content without the foundations intact, you'll be posting things that will not convert. So when I say building a foundation, you need to know who you are, what you're all about, what your values are, what your unique selling points are, why someone would want to work with you, and how you can solve their problems. In addition to that, you need to understand your target audience as well, because you can't solve their problems if you don't understand them and what they truly want. So it's all about, okay, well, what does my audience actually want to see from me? These are the things that you're going to build a content strategy around. In addition to the content strategy, you will also communicate on these things and optimize your profile in a way which resonates, which will make more sense a bit later. For now, all you need to know is that you need to have your foundation intact and you need to be absolutely crystal clear on your offering to convert your audience. So the second thing you need to know to build your personal brand is what your own goals are. So what are you actually trying to achieve? It's all good and well posting every day, but if there's no aim or outcome attached to those posts, then it's just not really going to give you the results that you want, and you'll feel like you're always chasing something that's never actually happening. So understanding your own goals of posting is absolutely critical. Your goals can be anything tangible. So how many clients you want to speak to, how many new terms of business you want signed, how many candidates that you want to speak to, or how many candidates you actually want to get off an inbound lead. How you can run a referral campaign to your audience, how you can just contact people at mass scale, how you can get 10 people message you per day. And if you reverse engineer this, you can absolutely get the numbers that you want on an inbound basis. But knowing your goals is important, because if you don't know your goals, you don't know what steps you need to take, and you don't know who exactly you need to speak to, and therefore you can't convert something you don't know. So being crystal clear on your goals and what you want out of that is number 2. Now, the third step of building a personal brand is you need a fully optimized LinkedIn profile. The way you should view this is you're trying to get on page 1 of Google search results, but on LinkedIn. Now, if you're not appearing on the first page on the LinkedIn search results, then your profile is just simply not being seen either. So what we need to do is optimize your profile in a way that solves your audience's problem, but also makes you searchable as well. You need to use things like SEO-friendly language, numbers, statistics, tags, tangible information. You need to have creator mode on as well, because then you can be viewed by up to 35% more people. And there's a lot of different other aspects that you need as well. When you have an optimized profile, a lot of people will optimize it to their company and all the wonderful things that their company's done and achieved. But the reality is your audience doesn't care about you or your company. Your audience cares what you can do for them. So your profile needs to be optimized for your audience and to solve your audience's problems. There's definitely a strategy that goes into that in terms of being able to lay it out and format it in a way in which your audience is encouraged to take action. But it's actually super, super simple, and I have heaps of templates on this. So if you're interested, let me know in the comments. To give you a bit of an overview of an optimized profile, what that should entail, it's you need to consider your profile picture, your banner, your headline, which is the most important thing that you need to get right. Your about section is crucial that it reflects how you can help your audience, and also your work history for that social proof. Now, people absolutely stalk you on your LinkedIn profile, and it's available 24 hours of the day, 7 days a week. So if you can optimize it correctly, it actually acts a bit of a business development tool, because you don't have to be making one-on-one calls to prospects and selling who you are, what you do, what you're capable of, how you can help them, because one scroll and they can see that themselves already. So that's how powerful having an optimized profile truly is. It's really, really important that you do invest some time setting it up, and once it's set up, then it's ready to go. You don't need to do it ever again, or you can potentially review once a year, but you really just need to get it right first time, and then the right audience can find you. So the fourth thing that you need is a content strategy. No more aimless posting, and please no more ChatGPT posts with the Z's instead of the S's. For example, customize, we've customized the American spelling. It is not personal. Your audience wonders whether you even know about the subject you're talking about, because you've just liked the sound of something that you've just clearly copy and pasted. It really is damaging to your brand if your content strategy is ChatGPT, or your content strategy is non-existent and you're just posting random articles and things. I see a lot of recruiters post, and the market's actually becoming quite saturated with posts, but very rarely do I see posts that are done well. Having a content strategy is all about being smart. You don't need to sit there for 10 hours a week building a content strategy. You need 1 hour per month to sit there and really, really think about it. My strategy that I use, which has been used for recruiters in every vertical, every level of experience, is called the TB strategy. That stands for topics and buckets. Something to which I teach all recruiters in my program. We go really deep on breaking down, okay, well, what are your topics? What does your audience want to see from you? What will solve their problems? What will address their fears, their concerns? What will give them more pleasure in their life and be able to do their roles better? These are what we would class as topics. Now, out of these topics, we'll take a topic and we'll create buckets of content out of that. What this does is this enables your messaging to be aligned to the market. And that's absolutely critical, because if your posts are all over the place and for 30 days you've got posts here, there and everywhere about really random things and a different topic a day, you might think, well, I'm posting something totally different, it's very relevant, but it actually does the opposite. It's an inconsistent messaging and people get confused as to whether or not you can help. What you need to post about is topics which are crystal clear that they help your audience, and lots of it. A consistent messaging is going to reach the people you want to reach. And it's not about numbers here either. I should definitely note that, because it's not about how many followers you have or actually how many people you reach. Whilst it does help the algorithm, but that's another story, it's actually more quality based. So being able to have a content strategy that reaches the same people again and again and again and moves them through the sales cycle. The sales cycle at the moment, from cold lead through to being a service provider, there's currently 11 touch points on average. That's an industry average. What personal branding or what a content strategy has the ability to do is actually fast track that entire process, because by the time somebody's seen your post 10, 20, 30 times and then they engage with you, they're not questioning whether you're the best person to help them anymore. They already know you've helped them 20 times before for free. They've never even given you $1, and their problems in their day-to-day life have been solved. Now, there's nothing I love more than when I run my completely free webinars and somebody will message me. They'll be the one action taker of the group, and they'll come to me and they'll say, I did what you told me to for a week straight. I got a 700% increase on my impressions, and I had a client come to me, which is something that's never happened before. And that is a true story that I have a complete testimonial for, because they followed the process and they had a strategy and it worked, it converted. So the equivalent to you is you'll give your audience this information, and it's not like, oh, I need to charge them for absolutely everything I help them with. No, you don't. You need to give more value again and again and again, so immediate trust is built. And over time, you'll become the person that can solve their problem more than anyone else. And this is when you start leveraging higher fees and retained fees as well. So having a real well thought out content strategy, following the TB strategy, is absolutely how you're going to convert your audience again and again, and position yourself as the absolute expert in your space, and they will not want to work with anyone else. Okay, so the fifth thing that you need to know how to do is to build a community. Your hottest leads are the people that like, comment, or engage with your posts. Now, I see a lot of people go out to market and they're doing these cold outreach strategies. They're using these AI bots to message 1,000 people per day. but you're messaging totally cold people that actually they need to get into that sales cycle first. They need to go through the process to know if they trust you. So of course you're not getting the response that you want. You need what I call a tribe. It's a loyal community. It's a tribe of people, and it doesn't even need to be that many, who trust you, believe you're the best person to help them, even if they don't need your recruitment service right now, but they'll refer their friends to you. They'll tell their boss about you. They'll get their team in to view your content or to watch your webinars. This is so valuable. It is crazy what your tribe can bring, because your tribe is talking about you for free to absolutely everybody, and you're getting a reputation in the market as that person. You are that person. You're the one getting quoted. Now, think about having that reputation at mass scale. Then something happens and people get made redundant, or, perhaps the time's just right for them to have a career change. Who do you think they're going to come to first? All other recruiters are focusing on the 3% of people who are available and ready to buy right now. If you're focusing on the 97%, not only are you actually in an untapped market, which means less competition, and they haven't actually got options of other people to work with because they haven't been looking, you are absolutely first in line when their friends or their colleagues need a job or need a recruiter to hire. So tapping into this untapped market is really the key to converting, because it's not about an immediate need right now. That's what business development calls are for. Business development's direct sales. Business development is, I've got a solution to your problem right now, a candidate for your Seek advert. That's BD, and there's a place for that. Personal branding is very different. It's a second strategy that you work alongside that strategy to get momentum, to keep the ball rolling, to constantly have options, to always have opportunities come knocking at your door instead of you knocking at their door. Your community is what's going to get you there. Plus, they help the algorithm when they're constantly liking and commenting on your posts as well, because what then happens is that pushes it out to other profiles which are similar to theirs, which means more visibility for you as well. Okay, and the sixth and final thing that you need to know is that personal branding is not a short-term strategy. Now, I'm not here to tell you you're going to post 3 times and become a billionaire tomorrow. It's just not going to happen. Small, consistent actions daily is absolutely how you'll succeed in this. Now, 15 minutes per day writing a post has the ability to reach thousands of people at any one time. Now, times that by, say, 5 posts a week. So in just over an hour a week, you could potentially reach tens of thousands of people. Now times that by a month or a year, that is potentially hundreds of thousands of people, or if not millions of people, who actually know who you are, what you're all about, and what services you can offer. Somebody sees your name for 365 days straight, they know who you are. They don't need to be a customer yet, but they know who you are and they know that you can help them. What this then creates over time is a compounding asset. You're never going to get 2 years down the line with consistency and never have a client or a candidate to work with. It's actually impossible. It's just not going to happen. Whereas with business development, you're constantly starting again. And let's say you're having monthly check-ins, you speak to them 12 times a year in comparison to 365 days a year, actually solving a problem. Not just speaking to them, have you got any jobs? No, not yet. Okay, I'll check in another month. You're literally helping somebody hundreds of times a year. It's a complete no-brainer, and the reason I'm so passionate about that is because it's genuinely changed absolutely everything I've done in my business, the way I strategize, the way I speak to people, the way people speak to me as well. When I call them and I say, oh, you replied to my LinkedIn message, they're so receptive to speak to me instead of a Seek ad when someone's just trying to brush you off the phone. Now, having that in itself is the most valuable thing in the world to me, because we all know as recruiters, actually getting through to the right people and having either the passive talent or the clients that are actually warm enough to want to speak to us is the hardest part of our role. That mass scale lead generation is the hardest thing for us to do. Then when we've got people interested and send them forward and interview and we can convert them, that becomes the easier part. As I mentioned at the beginning, you absolutely need a strategy to have it working like this, to have it working like clockwork, because without a strategy, unfortunately, what you'll find is that your posts won't get any return and they just won't be found by the right people. Now, this is what I teach. I can either come into a recruitment agency and actually build a centralized personal branding strategy for the entire team, Or if individuals want to join the program, I also run monthly programs for individuals to enroll in a group setting. Final offer that I have is I'm actually creating the world's first personal branding app, which is launching in November 23. All three of these opportunities offer absolutely everything you could possibly need to build your personal brand from scratch. So if this is something you're interested in, whether you're an individual or whether you're actually working in a recruitment agency, keen to enroll your team, I offer free consultation calls, and I'll leave a link in the comments below for you to actually schedule and book in. What we can do is assess whether or not this is the right program for you or you and your team. And from there, I can answer any questions that you may have and see whether this aligns to your goals. Also, if you did love this video, please do give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe to be notified of new videos which I post weekly to help recruiters excel.